Okay, everybody, welcome to this very special edition of Hexenrai Weekly Forecast. I don't know how special it is, but anyways, today we're going to be looking at the whole year of 2017. So this will be a little bit longer of a video than the usual weekly forecast, because we're going to look at the whole thing, the whole year. Not in any huge amount of detail, but enough to get you set up and give you a good preview of what's likely to occur. So today what we'll do is we're going to draw a card for each month and a rune for each month. We'll see how those cross over. We'll see if there's any interplay between these two oracles. And there usually is. This is my personal yearly tradition, so you are privy to it this year. And I encourage you all to do your own yearly outlooks and see what you come up with. See how different it is. Of course, you will want to do one for your own personal self. Ask yourself, what do I need to know for the year ahead? But this, the question posed to these, to the tarot and the runes will be, what do we all need to know for 2017? What would be suitable for everyone to be aware of each month? So, that's about it. Without any more yapping, I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to shuffle the tarot, and then I'm going to shuffle the runes, and we'll do a little bit of a forecast, and we'll see what we get. So that's enough talking. Let's see what we do. Okay, perfect. Let's lay them out then, shall we? So, we've got January. I'm going to try and leave enough room here. February. Gotta really bite down in that rue. March. April. And I can already tell we're not going to have enough room. May. June. July. We're gonna need a bigger table here. Get this dude out of the way. Where were we? July, August, September. I'm gonna move these up now. Try and grab all of them at once. That should be enough room. Anyhow, September, October, November, and finally December. That's the year in tarot cards, and I guess what I'll do is I'll try and put the runes to the side of them so we can compare them. So we'll put one there for January, which is where we are today. January 1st, 2017, here we go. February, March, April, May, June, the June rune, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And that's it. That's the year. We got 13 runes left over. 66 tarot cards. So let's start at the start, shall we? Let's see. January. The best advice for January that the tarot and the runes have to give us. Alright, so I'll just start with the tarot and then we'll get into the rune. And then see how they work together, which is funny because temperance is a balance of two things, right? So it's a synthesis. It's a good time to mix opposites, so to speak. It's also a good time to keep things balanced. So not too much of any one thing to start this year off. And honestly, it's probably going to be the whole situation for the whole year. January has been known to set the tone for the year ahead, but that's it for January. It's a real kind of a balance. It's a blending of things. It's a blending of opposites. And there will be plenty of opposites, I'm assuming, this year, if things continue along their current trend. And, you know, I got this guy here for a reason. So you know what I'm talking about, where I'm focused at. So whenever you see this guy next to a card or a rune, that's what we're talking about. So temperance, yeah, January, get ready to mix and mingle. Not so much on a physical level, but maybe, I don't know. But definitely, certainly on an emotional level and in all other ways, it's going to be a real kind of a challenge, honestly, not to spill or not to combine things inappropriately, or ineffectively rather. This is kind of an alchemy thing going on. And so that'll be it. It's going to be there's going to be some opposition, some opposites, and they will need to be mixed into one thing again. So any divisions should tend towards being mended or mixed into one thing. Not a good time to split apart, that's for sure. And the rune is Hagals, with the letter H, and it means hail. So it's a disruptive rune. It's the image is one of hail destroying one's crops, a hailstorm shredding the roof of your house, and that's what that particular rune means. So there will be some disruption. So taken together, man, I don't know. I'm hesitant to make that call. I know what I'm thinking. I don't know if I want to say it, but there may be some trouble amongst men, amongst mankind. There may be some arguments on a big scale. I don't know. I hope not. But even if it's just on a personal level, yeah, do be careful. Do be aware that there's a real chance for hail in January. Go figure. It's an icy month, anyways. So there's some disruption, and that disruption will tend to split apart things, and those would need to be rejoined with temperance. So yeah, again, anything splitting apart should be merged together into something new, by the way. Synthesized, not just glued back together. Alright, that's enough about January. Let's get into February, shall we? February, the tarot card for February is the Prince of Earth. It's a great time to really focus on the material, to get your feet back on the ground, to plant your feet firmly in the earth, plant your roots. It's an interesting card here. It's not quite springtime. It's not quite at all. It's February, but it is still a good time to maybe get some things growing. I don't think it's a good time to get too many plants growing, but finances, material things. Make sure your house is in order. Make sure your affairs are in order, and get them ready to expand when they are able to. The prince is kind of an immature figure. He doesn't have the mastery that his father, the king of Earth, would have. So. And again, cups and earth are all material things like that. Good time to, you know, if you got that gym pass in January, you want to get in shape, keep doing it. Don't drop out after January. Keep working out with the Prince of Earth. Keep things growing, keep things warm, keep things alive through the winter, right? Keep things expanding if you're able to, and get them ready for even further growth when the time comes. So February is a good month to really lock down on your finances and make sure you are not spending or acting like a goofball with your material resources. The rune for this month is Perisaz. It's the thorn rune. It makes the th sound. Theta. But anyways, it's sometimes it's a rune of protection. It's always sharp. It always keeps something at bay. Whatever side the thorn is facing is what will be repulsed, or at least shredded up pretty good. So it's a protective rune usually, but it's also the rune of the giants sometimes. So there's a destructive element to it as well. A single-edged sword, but just make sure you're on the right edge of the sword. So in that regard, I think that this is a good month to really protect what assets you do have, combined with the Prince of Earth. I think it's a good time to really make sure that you're not spending like a goofball, that you do have things on lockdown, that you're not bleeding resources. It's not the month to let the squirrels into your food stores, so to speak. So do be careful. Make sure everything's locked down and protected. You don't want to lose anything in the middle of winter. But it's funny because this one has been connected to ice giants before, so it's an icy month. It's appropriate. But do be careful. Don't be on the wrong side of things. Make sure your assets are well protected and well guarded under such a rune. Okay, let's move on to March. That's good enough for February. So March, what do we have? We have the King of Earth. Hey, that's pretty cool. So it looks like those investments pay off very soon. March, some places you might be able to start growing stuff again. So they may have already begun growing. But as far as finances go, I think March is a good month to kind of reap some rewards already, or at least have them set up to be managed properly and expanded even further. You will have learned a few things in February. You won't be as immature as the prince was then, so you will certainly be in a better position to really kind of grow your wealth, grow your resources. You'll be in even bigger shape, better shape, if you kept up with your January promise, your New Year's resolution to go to the gym every day. You'll be ripped sick gains, brah. You'll have them. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. It's really good in conjunction with this Prince of Earth in February. So March is going to be a good month financially and materially if you are looking after your things with the wisdom and guidance that the King of Earth generally embodies. For the rune, for March, we have Uruz. So this is the Auroch. It's a wild bull. It no longer exists, sadly, but it was crazy big and very strong. And it's kind of a wild power. It's an untamed power. And so I think that the runes here are telling us in March is that there is something out there that can be grabbed, that can be tamed, that can be brought back. Generally, this would have been a huge boon to the village. If you were able to go out with your friends and bring one of these bad boys back, you got plenty of food, you look like a hero, it's going to be good. That said, it's an untamed power, so it's still wild at this point. Nothing has actually been locked down. It's dangerous, too, to go after it. Keep that in mind. Big rewards usually come with big risks, so please be careful with your money. Don't go too crazy, make wise investments, and certainly don't spend needlessly. Alright, make sure your money's working for you. Make sure you are working for you, and you may just claim power indicated by Uruz, the Aurochs. And I'm not a native speaker of any Scandinavian tongue, so please forgive my disgusting pronunciation. Alright, let's move on to April. April, we have the Wand of Burden for the tarot. Not a great card, usually. In most other decks, it's a guy, he's got way too many wands, he's having a real tough time. Why can't I hold all these wands? Is the mantra. It's a tough one. It's kind of becoming burdened by success or taking on too much. Too many, what is it, rods in the fire? Irons in the fire? You're doing too much, in other words. So April, you might be feeling spring coming on. You might be getting excited for the thaw of winter. But do not overdo it. It's not quite time to catch on fire to such a degree. It's still kind of cold. It's not going to be the best moment to take on too much. And that will be the theme throughout the month. There will be a lot thrown at you. You may be burdened whether you want to or not. But do be advised that anything optional that you can avoid taking on, really assess to make sure that you need to be doing that. It's going to be the temptation of the month. It's going to be the mood of April. So be careful with that. The rune is Manas, so this is a good rune to have. It's a rune of mankind, so it usually speaks of good relationships, good connections, good solid connections between people, open communication, kind of a good bond, maybe even with a hint of connection of families. I think marriage and unions like that have been connected to this before in some readings. So yeah, it's a good time to get along with everybody. I think that April will be a nice month to reopen. Everybody's going to be excited. The winter's slowly coming to an end, but it's on the way, and spring and summer are on the horizon. So everyone will be in a good spirit. There will be a good communication. But because of that, I think that you may tend. That's where the Ten of Wands is coming in. Because everybody's so active again, because everybody's so connected, there's going to be a lot on the plate for everyone, and they'll all be communicating new ideas and coming together. And they'll be asking for help, asking for this. You'll need help. You'll need that. It's going to be busy. It's going to be exciting. But please be careful not to get overburdened if you can avoid such a thing. All right, so that was April, rather. We're moving into May. So May, let's see what we got. Tarot, we have the Staunch Sword. That's the Three of Pentacles in the standard suit. So the Three of Pentacles, again, we're back to Pentacles and Shields in my case. With my deck here, it's kind of the mindset is through your own hard work you make more work. It's service to others is a boon to yourself. It's a real good time to show off your handiwork, your craftsmanship, your skills at a material level. It's a good time to get work done and to showcase it in a sense, to practice your skills, to let others know that you have them, and to work for others. In a real way, as if you were working for your own ends. All right, you want to do good work, you want to do strong work. That's going to be the key to success in May. Really showcase, do your best work this month. It's gonna yield dividends, right? So people will see what you've done for them. They're gonna be so proud that they hired you and you were working with them. They're gonna be, look at this work. This is some good stuff. I'm gonna recommend you to everybody. So if you are the owner of a business, great month to really focus and get things done properly. People are gonna be watching. You'll be rewarded for good work. And You know, charity, of course, is a good time this month. It looks like a good time to be charitable. Give, and you will be given to. It's a real good card to have in May, honestly. But again, it's back to finances and material things. So any kind of work like that, any material goods that you can create and give away, perfect time to do it. It's going to pay off pretty well. The rune is Nidus, which is Need Fire. It's kind of an interesting rune to have in connection with this, honestly. It might hint that resources, may be a little less than desirable. It may not have as much material comfort as strength or abundance as you'd like, and that I think these tie in nicely, actually. So you might actually need these resources, and you're going to get them by doing good work and kind of giving something out in the first place. So even though you might be in a tough spot, needing the fire, needing the warmth, you're out in the cold maybe, the way to get it is by doing good work and giving your time and power into it, and it will be given back to you. So that's how you're going to find what you need in the month of May. Okay, I think that's good. I want to keep moving here. We're in June now, so let's check out June. We've got the Ace of Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Coins in most decks. This is the Ace of Shields here. The Revenant Guard. So this is an interesting time. I think, especially in connection with all this Earth stuff coming up, it's going to be kind of a down-to-earth year so far. So we're in June. It's a good time to plant seeds, honestly. Get those growing. Physical food. I mean, that's, you know, whenever you can start the garden, start it. It might be an early summer. Good planting season. But it could speak to investments as well. I think something new will open up, certainly. A new pathway, new way to grow your wealth and yourself, your body. Health is an issue here, perhaps, but it will be kind of a renewal of it. Nothing established yet, nothing big going on, but it's the perfect window to get things suited. So any benefits yielded from the King of Earth or set up by the last month's card in May would be perfect in June to kind of reinvest into itself, to kind of help itself grow. And I think that's the main message brought on by that card. So let's look at the rune for June, and we have Unyo, or Win. This is the letter W. Believe it or not, I know it looks like a P to us, but it's the letter W, and it's the joy rune. It's the rune of happiness and joy and all that good stuff. So it's gonna. I mean, that's it is what it is. So that's June's a great month. It's a good month. It's going to be a happy month. I think some problems will probably have corrected themselves. You'll see a new way forward, a new route to get things done, a new route to plant things, and to get them really growing. And that'll be done in joy. That'll be a happiness. There'll be a real positive outlook towards the future of these initial seedlings, so to speak. So that's awesome. June's a good month to get things started for the summer and the rest of the year ahead, which we are halfway through the year, guys. So we are in July now. Let's see what the tarot's got. Ah, the devil. So July may tend towards partying, a little hedonism, a little too materialistic in some cases, perhaps. Do be aware of any overindulgences in July. I think maybe some of these harvests we were talking about are coming in. If you're partying too hard, maybe you're having a tough time and you are a little too focused on that as well. So the important thing with the devil card to remember is even though it may be a kind of bondage hinted at, is many times you'll enter into that willingly, and you can exit willingly as well. So you are not as imprisoned as you may think, should you choose to leave. The devil is also, well, I think that's the message for July, is really, really do be careful. If you are in a crappy place, try and get out of it, obviously, but, and you'll be able to. There's kind of a challenge involved, too, and that is the overcoming of this. But if you are just having a good time with it, sometimes it's nice to party, to hang out with the devil and his rock and roll. All these young kids in their double music. So yeah, it's not a terrible time, July. It's not a bad time at all. But do be aware. Don't overindulge. Don't feel like you're trapped if you want to hold back a little bit in that regard. There's always the return. So let's look at the rune that we got. It's the rune. Perthok. It's the rune, honestly, it's usually interpreted as kind of a luck or fate It's the gambling cup. And you don't know what you're going to get, really, but you know you're getting something. Something's coming out of that cup. What will it be? Who knows? But in this case, it's the devil. So it's, honestly, there may be kind of a gambling thing going on. Maybe a gamble. Good time to gamble? I don't think so. Don't gamble too much in July. You're probably not going to win. Don't take any big risks. Don't bet too much on luck. But luck will be on your side in other ways. So if you do see something within reason, a new project you want to get started or anything like that, make sure that there's a good actual chance of it turning out well. And then you can roll the dice, perhaps. But do be careful. Don't rely on the devil's own luck if you can avoid it. Kind of a risky month. Kind of a weird month, July. Take it easy. Let's go on to August then. So August we have the Four of Wands. So we're back into the warm seasons here with all this fire coming up. The Wands again are willpower, kind of the force of action. So the Four of Wands is the first stage of completion, so to speak. So this is foundational. Your will has finally established the four corner posts of a new building. All right. So this is a great month. This is when things really start to manifest. You may have had the resources previously, but now they're taking the shape of something you're willing. So things are coming in, and the results are good. Again, the whole house isn't built, but it will be soon if everything goes well. So yeah, real good time in August here. I think you'll be pleased with a lot of your results. It's a good time to not start harvesting yet, but the first harvests are in, right? Not the big fall ones, but you're getting some return and things are looking great. So August is good in that regard. Anzus is the rune. So this is Odin's rune. It's generally the rune of communication, magic, sometimes kind of a deathy vibe. Basically, if you know about Odin, any attribution that you could place on him would be placed here. So it's perhaps I don't know. It's kind of, I think, a magical month, so to speak, at August. It's a good time to really maybe focus on those spiritual things. Since the other results are going well, you could pursue those. But I think that if you were kind of hoping or wishing or casting your will out, so to speak, it'll kind of be, maybe your results will be a surprise, honestly. Yeah, maybe you weren't expecting it, and they'll come through kind of a non-ordinary mean, or a message, or some kind of unusual means of communication. Also, not a bad month to write, create, get creative, get poetic. Focus on that. Good month to get the creative things done too. So, but yeah. So to summarize August, it's going to be a good month. You'll get a lot of returns. Things will manifest in a very real way, and they may do so by unorthodox or seemingly magical means. Okay, September. What do we have for September? Let's flip that over. Hey, that's great. September, we have the Sun. Always a good card. The Sun is the card of renewal, rejuvenation. I mean, it's great. It's just the rising sun. Yeah, I think everybody can relate to this one, except for vampires. Then, I'm sorry, you're cursed. And you will be blown apart in September. But the rest of us can enjoy a nice, warm September. The trend continues. I think things will keep growing. The sun's shining. Everything's out. Everything's good. You can see clearly. There's no illusions. It's a very, very clear-headed time. Everything's illuminated. Even the inner self, probably. So you'll know yourself. You'll know what's going on very well. And overall, it's going to be, you know, I mean, it's going to be a sunny September. September sun. Has risen. So let's check out the rune for September. So this is kind of a strange rune to have come up for this. This is Awas. This is kind of the hanged man of the runes. It's a surrender. It's the above and the below, and the tension between them. It's an interesting rune. It's another very often associated with magic or initiatory experience. So the sun may rise and it may take you to a new mindset entirely. It might blast away the darkness. I know I was kind of joking about vampires, but you could take that as a metaphor. Them than being kind of destroyed, which may be traumatic if you identified as a vampire or had some darker things you were clinging to. Of course, the brighter the light, the darker the shadow, and that's somewhat indicated by the polar nature of that rune. But yeah, so I think whatever the sun brings, you know, maybe it illuminates something uncomfortable. Not a problem. Just give into it. It's going to be all right. It's for the best ultimately, even if the growing pains are a little uncomfortable. So don't worry too much. Overall, September is going to be a good bright month, as long as you can go with the flow and handle the intensity of the sun that it sometimes brings. That's enough for September. Let's get on to October. Let's see if this flips over. There we go. Alright, so we're in October and we have the level 8 shield, the wooden shield, but this is the 8 of coins or pentacles in other decks. So October is a perfect time. Settle down and practice your craft. It's things are kind of calming down. It's fall, or very nearly fall, full fall, and that's it. It's kind of the winding down of the seasons. The vibrancy of the summer's ending. Things are going down. So now is the time to kind of really use what you've gathered over the course of the year, and really hone your skills through doing. So it's a good time to kind of let the rest of the harvest take care of itself. Get ready, and pay attention to the things you can improve. So, I mean, the most obvious thing will be practical skills. So if you do have a craft or a hobby, keep making them. Keep churning them out. Get better. If you're a musician, keep practicing. If you're an artist, keep painting. Keep working at whatever it is you do. And this, obviously at the professional level too. Keep practicing, keep up to date, keep going with the techniques. Really stay current and polished. All right? So you can do your best at whatever it is you are doing at the time. So that's a good thing for October. Good time to settle down and practice. Not much else going on. Good time to grow your powers and skills, and to maybe study up on some of your investments that you made earlier in the year. Keep an eye on those, and just see where things are going. This is kind of a waiting time, but you fill the idle time by doing the things that you need to improve. So for the rune, we have Dagaz, which is good. That's the day rune. It's the dawn, and we had the sun last month, so I think the sun will continue to shine in this case. Maybe not as bright as it did, but still, it's going to be kind of a home rune too. I think it's a good time to hang out around the house, focus on those things, and practice on those. As you'll be able to see everything much clearly, even into this month. September starts it off, of course, with the Tarot Sun, but now we have the rising of the sun. I'm tempted to say that this is the setting of the sun here, though. I know it's the rune of day, but it's just what the old intuition's got going on. So enjoy the last rays of this season before we descend into the darkness of November and December, and the rest of winter. This is kind of the last hurrah of the sun in this layout, at least according to my interpretation. So that's all I can say. So yeah, really, spend some time practicing, enjoy what's left of the warm weather, if there is any, and that's it. So we'll move into November now. Ooh, November, kind of a rough card for November. Do be careful of your words in November. There's a real propensity, is that the right word? Yeah, I need to be careful of my own words, huh? Yeah, heads up. Don't stab anybody in the heart. There's a real chance of that happening. Not physically, of course. I certainly hope not, but generally it will be with words or thoughts. There's a tendency to be wounded or to wound others. Too many people might get involved. Too many things might be said. It's a real dangerous. The swords are out of balance, and somebody's likely to get cut. So watch it. Practice your sword skills maybe in October, right? Save yourself the heartache in November. November is kind of a tough month. I think maybe people are a little cranky that the days are growing shorter, at least where I'm from, and yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous in terms of communication. So please do be careful. Really mind your words in November, and don't goof around too much with any partnerships or anything like that. Don't tip the scales. Try and keep swords as balanced as you can. Otherwise, some blood's gonna get spilled. Metaphorically, of course. Don't spill anybody's blood. And where are we at? So we're doing the rune. All right, let's check out the rune for November. It's Yera, which is interesting. We're nearing the end of the year, and we get the year rune. So this is the rune of cycles and seasons. It's usually it does indicate a harvest, which is appropriate here as well. If you've got any later crops that are still hanging in there, they're coming in. I keep relating everything to gardening this time. Sorry, got garden on my mind, but I should probably eat some vegetables. Yeah, so that's about it. If there's anything left to do in this year, get it done. Make sure it's completed. Things are turning. The year is almost ending. The cycle is almost complete. So this is kind of a last call. Hurry up and get your stuff done if there's anything left to be done. And also think about the upcoming cycle too, the upswing indicated by the other line here. The rising and the setting lights. And these are Kenaz runes as well. I think they are anyways. They're two torches, they're two lights, and one rises and one sets. And I love to spin that one. But so that's it. November, yeah, do be careful of your words. Do not cut others as you harvest what is left to be harvested. And certainly make sure your affairs are in order. Complete the things you wish to do before the year ends and before December sets in. And think about the things you want to accomplish next month and in the next year. So finally, guys, that's it. We're already through the whole year. It is now December 2017, the end of this this new year. So let's see where we're at. So, ooh, that's awesome. It's a great card to have as the last month. The Tonic of Actualization. This is the 9 of Cups in traditional decks, and usually it is showing some kind of real smug guy. He's won a lot of trophies. He's accomplished a lot of things. He's got a lot of golden cups set behind him, and he is in front of them, saying kind of like, "Hey, dude, look at this. You see all this stuff? I did all this. This is mine. I'm really good. I'm really good at this." It's a good card. It's kind of a braggy card usually, so don't go too far with that unless you want to. I don't think there'll be any harm in it at this time of year. But it's a good time to really reflect on your accomplishments and feel good about what you've done throughout the year. So that's a real nice message for December. I think that'll be good for everybody. Give you something to look forward to throughout the whole year, too. You can finally look back and be like, yeah, I got all this done. What a year. What a crazy year. I think 2017 is going to be awesome in that regard. I think all of us will accomplish a lot, and we'll feel good about that. So that's a nice one to have in December. A good time to reflect in the waters that are in the 9 of Cups. Or the Tonic of Actualization, in this case. And funnily enough, we have the water rune, the river rune, the Lagos leak. A leak. It's also an onion, but usually it's water. So that's perfect, guys. It's flowing into the new year. That's the end of it. Things are moving again. It's not frozen, which is important. The flow returns. The flow continues. So, yeah, that's awesome. It's a very watery end to December. So, honestly, it's a kind of intuitive, emotional ending to the year. So, but it's a real happy kind of maybe smug vibe. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the whole year. That's 2017, guys. I'm gonna move the camera up here so you can get a good overview and maybe just skip to the end of the video and make your own conclusions and your own readings as to what you think this means. I'm going to move this guy out of the way. So I hope you do have an awesome year. I hope we all do. I hope it's good for everybody. Going to be off to maybe a little rough start, right? Let's get the overview here. Kind of a rough start. Some disruption, some balancing, some new things will get created out of the chaos. Early month is a good time to make sure that you have enough materially for the rest of the year and that you manage them responsibly and grow them. Do be careful not to take on too much. It's going to be busy. It's going to be tough. Good partnerships, though. Maybe a little bit of a lull in the material things early, about halfway through the year, I guess. But those will grow, and you will do that by hard work. Surprise. No free lunches. But that'll wind up good. July, honestly, hits kind of a weird point. Be careful not to overindulge. Be careful not to take too many chances. It's the swinging into the rest of the year, so really make sure you have a smooth transition. Don't get hung up by the devil. Yep, new things get established through kind of mysterious means, maybe unexpected surprises. The sun comes up, the sun sets. It's going to be a nice end of the year, a bright end to the year. Lots of time to get things done. Go with the flow, too. Don't resist the light when it comes up. There may be a tendency to be cynical, but don't. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good and bright. Good time to get things practiced. Please be careful towards the end of the year not to say or do anything that will hurt people's hearts. You don't want to end the year on that note. Things change and they wind up, and it's a good time to reflect in December over the past year and all of your wonderful, wonderful accomplishments, which I'm sure all of you will achieve. It's going to be good. 2017 is looking good. Everybody stay frosty, though. It's a little tough. I think we'll get through it all, and we're going to have some real cool stuff to show for it in the end. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this long video. I know it's the thing. I know it's a long thing. It's the whole year. I hope this was helpful. Please do your own readings and let me know what you get and what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all throughout the year in 2017, and I hope we all have good news to share throughout. Bye-bye.